Well, up there we go. Hi, Toby. Well, no, Toby. Hello, I love that backdrop. So
Yeah, I do too.
I know. Very cute. All right. Well, I don't like to do this, but I really want to start. I hate to. Well, we could certainly sing the alphabet fast. I just want you to hear those letters, and by the time we're done, you'll know the alphabet. So it's not rocket science, and we're only doing it once. So I guess we can kill a half a minute doing that. So just repeat it. If we sing it, if we don't, Aleph, bet, vet.
Aleph, bet, bet.
Gimel, Daled, hey.
Gimel, Dalet,
hey.
Vav, Zion, Chet, Tet.
Vav,
Zion,
Tet. Yud, Kaf, Chaf. Yud, Chaf. Lamed, Menun.
Lamed, Memnon.
Samech, Ayin, Pefe.
Zion, Pepe.
Sadi, Kuf, Resh.
Sadi, Refresh.
Shin, Sin, Tav.
Shin, Sin,
Yeah, then I did remember the middle part, but we're not going to do it with you. It says, let's learn the alphabet, simple as it can be. You'll learn the alphabet if you sing the letters after me. Each letter has a name and a sound that it always makes. We will sing the special chorus. We'll have fun. It will not bore us. It's the alphabet, boom, 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 and then you do it again. So I did remember my Debbie Friedman little.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to repeat that now.
You don't have to repeat that part. I told you, I did this with like every age kid teaching Hebrew. So I'd have them get up only to get them moving. So I like the only calisthenics I did during the week. So I hope I didn't lose half the class. Elizabeth, I know you've been on for a long time. So if you come back to the computer, come on in and let's see that face. And I can't, I guess we really do want to start. If this isn't a good time for people to get here on time, then I'd sooner say to you, we'll start 15 minutes later and have everybody on the same side. I don't want to waste people's time. You're all here on time. So anyway, today we are going to learn a few new letters, and an there we go. Thanks, Elizabeth. Hi, honey. And we're going to learn another vowel or two. So does everyone remember the mem and the lamed? I mean, it wasn't like a lot of things to remember. The mem is a little mountain. It doesn't look like any other letter. You're never going to confuse it. It doesn't have a cousin. It has a final shape, but we'll do that today later. And the lamed is the only guy that has his head sticking above the box. And that top part actually looks like an L. So it's the easiest two ways to remember them. They're not confusing because they're unique shapes. It's not like, remember I showed you the box with the little teeny and the little line and then longer and fatter. Those, oh my God, which one? But mem and lamed are pretty easy. So today are on page 4. I think if I lost half this class, I'll be very sad.
It is 4.
It's page 4, right? So today, in order for us to reach that goal word of melech, meaning, what does it mean?
King.
We're going to learn, and we usually don't do this in this order, we're going to learn a final chaf before we learn kaf. But the next page, we're learning regular shape. There are 5 letters that have final shapes when they're the last letter. So just, the first one, actually mem has a final shape, but we're not up to it. And chaf is another one. So when we see on page 4, who can read this thing? 4, there is that shape of a letter in our magic box. Remember, it's going to go longer than the box. Okay, just I don't have the box on the blackboard, but anyway, so you can picture it. So it doesn't live in the box. Actually, if it lived totally in the box, it would be a dalet, or a smoother version would be the resh. But this guy goes across that whole top and lower than the box. So it's a final chaf. And then 1 second later, we're gonna learn the regular shaped kaf, which just looks like a C. A backwards C for you. I'm trying to think how I'm shaped. Yeah, if you do a C with. No, this way. There we go. Looks, I have to. Okay, so here it is, a final kaf. So remember, it's letter, vowel, and you connect it to the next letter. So when we're looking at this, there's no way we can say the first line unless we go. I don't want anybody choking.
Yeah, right.
And make believe you just did that whole line, everyone. Very good, very good. So if we go to line 2 and we see mich, mech, do you see that?
Mhm.
Mech, mech,
Mich,
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 mech. Okay, so now we're just going to go around. Harriet, do line 3.
Lich,
Right.
lech, 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 lich, lech.
That's correct. Oh, now we're going to get little bigger ones. Okay, Sheila, give me line 4.
Leich, lech, lay, lay,
Yes,
lay,
that's right.
lech,
Right.
and lech.
That's correct. Got it. So everyone sees how that is. You just connect it and
Lech.
right. So Layla, whatever it is, it just connects it. Okay. Line 5. Toby.
La, ma, ha, la mer, la mich,
Yes.
lay mich.
Right.
Lech.
And as you can see, super fanatical. And there's like no exceptions. I mean, if there might be one in the list of 1,000,000 words that there is some exception, but 99.9, there's never an exception. It is what you see and you just say it as you see it. So even if it was a 10-syllable word, you just go up and down and across, and you just read it, syllable by syllable. 6, Janice.
Lech, 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 lech,
Boy,
lech, lech.
what
You
a
gave me a hard
challenge.
one.
There you go. Very good. Well, I didn't even realize I gave her that. I'm sorry about that. Elizabeth, line 7.
Mela, 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 mela.
Yeah, mela, 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 mela. Okay, we're going to combine it in a second and make a word. Susan.
Me, le,
Yeah, right.
me, le, melech, melech.
Okay, what did Susan, when Susan has an exclamation point after the word from this teacher, can anyone imagine what that means in this context of this textbook? You reach the goal word.
Right.
It's
Oh.
nothing that exciting. It's not
okay.
that, yeah, you don't have to overthink this. Mazel tov, you got to the goal word. So
Okay.
now the word was melech, and you just read it, melech, and there it is. You could circle it, smile, put a smiley face, give yourself a star, I don't care. Melech, and there's your word for king. And now you've reached how to read your very first Hebrew word, and it's melech. I am not going to bother anyone to do line 9. We can just all say melech, 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 melech. Okay, now let's do line 10. Harriet, go ahead.
Me, melech,
Right.
me, melech, me, melech.
Right. So I believe me melech is the plural of melech. So I'm pretty sure, and I don't speak Hebrew, but I'm pretty sure that that's true. So melech is king. So me melech is the plural. It's kings. And that's it. So, and you've heard this word, haven't you? Heard me,
Oh, yeah.
melech,
Melech, okay.
right. So you've heard this word. So even though it's not our goal word, because melech was, it's a word that's in Shalom Aleichem. So now you almost know 2 words that are in the song, melech and me melech. And does anyone need a review? Are we good on this?
Yes, we do.
And don't be embarrassed ever to say, I do it again or do a line again. Okay, it's just a small group. I have a feeling everyone dropped out. I don't know. I'm not going to take it personally. It is Friday, right? No, I'm kidding.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just don't know what happened. And if you ever can't come, it's like the only reason I'll follow up with the rest of them is make sure they're still staying with us and to make sure they get to see this recording. So if you ever can't make it, just shoot me an email and say, I'm missing.
If I have your email.
Oh, I sent it originally. It's just M Miller. I'll send it again. I
Okay.
sent it in that beginning letter with, hi, welcome to my class.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
mmiller@wlcj.org, but I'll resend it again.
Okay.
So now on the next page, now it's going to be why does it have is this out of order? What page is this?
This is page 5 and it's got both.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just have you go to page 6 for a moment.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, okay. I want you, it's just simultaneously. As you can see, and now that a chaf has a final shape. So when it's totally the last letter, it's going to be the chaf with the line. But look at the word at the top of 5 and 6, both. It's malche. Now I know later in the song it's malache, but we haven't taught you that extra little verby thing. So it's malche. Well, how come it's the other chaf and not the final chaf? It's the last letter of the word, right?
Mhm.
I would wonder that. Not that I wonder a lot of things, that I don't contemplate a lot of things, but I would wonder that. Because if you look at the top of page 6, you're going to have a couple of vowels that when you have the vowel and that little letter that I said, it's like an apostrophe in our box, it's the yud.
Mhm.
Sometimes, and I don't know why, because I don't spell Hebrew. So, and none of us are going to care. We only need to read it. Sometimes they create the yud, the letter, the vowel, and I'm doing this in the wrong order, the vowel and the yud next to it to hold a space. I don't know why they need to, because it doesn't make sense to me, but they do. I don't know. So when you see the vowel, a vowel, the 2 dots next to each other, a, or at the end of a word, you see the a with that yud sitting up there in the sky.
Mhm.
There we go. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
We're just learning the word, the letter chaf, and it has 2 shapes. It's a final letter and we didn't get the other one. So the final chaf goes longer than the line, and now we're going to learn the regular chaf, which is just kind of lazy and sits on the line. It's a backwards C. So we're just kind of skipping one page and going back for a second. So when you see that vowel, we're going to see it a couple of times. We're going to see it with the 1 dot as well later. But when you see the 2 vowels, the 2 dots next to each other, the a vowel, and you see the yud next to it, the yud doesn't have its own sound. It's just another way to say a. Again, I don't know why, but it is. So when you see that or that, it's an A. So just hold that thought for a minute. So let's just go back to 5 for a minute. And the word we're learning, the new goal word is malche. Remember, it's a chaf. And so there's that a vowel. Why does it need the yud next to it? Maybe because you can't end a word in a vowel. It's not like Italian that you end a lot of words in an A sound. I don't know why. So maybe that's why, that you wanted that A sound and it just is that way. Sometimes, again, I could find out from a linguist why they do that, but I'm just teaching you how to read it.
So I'm
Yeah,
so
you're confused.
the long line, the vowel.
That's a final chaf.
No.
So on your
Where the mat is.
Ah,
Underlined.
Now, what's the sound of that line underneath?
ma.
oh, that straight line.
Yeah,
Did you learn that?
Oh.
no,
Well, because we're not up to it yet.
Okay.
But it's our goal word. We're going to learn what it is on page, the next page. It's on the next. We're just going to finish. We'll do that. So we don't know that vowel yet. You're right. I'm just telling you the goal word is malche. And we
Okay.
don't know how to read it yet because we don't know that vowel. And we're just learning the 2 A's with the yud that makes that A sound at the end of a
And
word.
ah,
So good
yeah.
pickup, Susan. We don't know that vowel yet. That's why it's not going to be till the next page. So now it's showing you both shapes. The final chaf is only when it's the last letter, and the other chaf is when it's anywhere. And if it ever is the last letter, it has to have a vowel at the end, which is that A with the yud or the dot with the yud. So either shape, it's that C, backward C, or going longer than the box. So the first, we're not going to read these. Just look at the first line. It, no matter which shape, it's a chaf. Chaf, chaf, chaf. We're just not going to say the word. Second line also chaf, 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 chaf. C-H-A-F. If you're writing it on your sheets. And so then when you go to line 3, it's chi, chi, che, 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 chi. You just do that guttural sound with the vowel.
May
Everyone
I
see
make
it?
a suggestion, or it's a question really? It's
Hey.
2 in 1, but I'm trying to put, give myself crutches here. So the che, you have the final, and the other one, which is like the sister of it, they're the same, basically, used differently. It's easy to remember because it's a backward C for the cha, but it has that little lip on the top. The top is the same as the final, no?
Not only because the calligrapher and the typist. If I was writing it on a blackboard, I'm not making a fancy top. I'm just doing a backward C.
Yeah,
if
well,
I
I know the scripture, I know
most
the
of the
script
time,
is
right?
different, but in printing form, I would think the printing, even in the books, it would follow this.
But when
Right.
you're writing it on the board, I wouldn't want you to not, say,
Yeah,
where's my
yeah.
top little crown on my thing? So one
Well-
could think that the chaf in the middle is the regular one is just kind of sitting there resting. And then the final one,
ah,
kind of is on one leg.
Okay,
He
all right.
brings, and a lot of the final letters, not the mem, but a lot of them take the bottom line and just
Yeah.
wing it down straight. They take that bottom line and then they just go like that.
hey,
When you're writing
Okay,
it,
I'm doing it backwards,
yeah,
okay.
no, I understand,
hey,
like
like,
that, right?
okay.
So it's a chaf, and if you want to write the word chaf, where am I here? C-H-A-F. So now you see both chafs. You're never going to see the final chaf anywhere else except the last letter. That you're never going to see. So
okay.
let's take a look at line 4 and where they have a couple together. And Nancy, can you do that for us?
He, 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 he.
Okay, now I'm just telling you, that's fine, because I knew what letter you're doing. If I heard you, it almost sounded like the H, which is a different, totally different letter. So remember, when you're doing this, it has that sound. So because there is another letter that's an H sound. So, but that's fine. Okay, Elizabeth, do line 5.
He, Lee,
Yes.
he, me, he,
Okay, do that word again.
he, me.
Yes, yes.
Whoa.
Remember, you just connect it to the middle vowel, it becomes a consonant, a syllable. Very good.
Me, lech.
No, that's not a me. That's not a mem.
Oh, sorry. He, lech.
Lionel?
He, lech. Oy.
That's right. Chi lech.
He, lech.
Good.
Lechech. I hope I never have to
Lech.
do that again.
That's a hard thing to say. So that
Hey, hey,
right. Lay chech.
Chech.
Boy. Now you can see that last week you had to review that one page, a couple of times. This now you're going to have to do 10 minutes a day kind of thing. The more you do these, the more they'll become second nature, like I said last week. Okay, let's do line 7, Toby.
Me, leche.
No, now hold on 1 second. I'm glad you did that. Perfect.
Oh,
work.
me,
You put
Mel-
this, right,
Mile.
because the lamed has no vowel, it goes to the guy ahead of him.
What page
Right,
are we
so-
on? Five,
Mile.
five or six?
Meal, hey.
Milhe.
So look at that. Everyone look at that. Line 7, first word. The mem has the E and the lamed goes with him. So it's meal, like having a meal.
Okay.
Meal, hey.
Hey.
Milhe.
Right.
Milhe, and milhe.
Now you got that word perfectly. Okay, good. So remember, every letter needs a vowel. If it doesn't have one, it goes to the guy before him, not after. Okay. Janice, can you do line 8?
No, Mel, Mel,
May,
Mel, hey.
male, I'm sorry,
Oh, good.
male, hey,
Yes, perfect.
male, hey, male, hey, male, hey, male, hey.
Very good. So 7 and 8, they just changed the vowels, the same word.
Yeah.
You see how that worked, everybody?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Okay, who haven't we bothered in a few seconds? I've lost track as I took you out of
I'm
order. Raise your
reading it,
hand.
no
Who's
wonder,
Sheila?
maybe I'll read better now with this.
That's all right. Sheila, you want to do line 9?
Milhe, 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 milhe.
Right. Now you all know the 3 little dots is an E. No one has to think, right? You pretty much got that one down, right? So
Right.
those 3 vowels are second nature to you after just a week.
Mm.
And that's exactly right. Perfect. The last one, I can't even see it if it has a vowel under it, because mine's schmutzy. So let's skip the first word in line 10 because I can't see.
It's a
I
lamed,
don't think it has a vowel under it.
not under the lamed, no.
No,
So
they're all
It's
the same
the-
word.
It's
all
the same word the
word.
whole time. So it's,
Oh, go ahead.
is it leche?
Leche. Yeah, you kind of almost just leche, right.
Okay.
It really
Do we have
wouldn't
to have
be-
the hand motion with it too, or?
Yes, like Italian, you stuck with your words. So let's, at the bottom, it says the chaf is used at the beginning of the middle of the word, and the final chaf is used at the end of the word. Mal che is our goal word, which we don't know yet. So
Oh, is it?
I touched this, I touched the computer. So that's why you need to practice the sheet. So you get that. And that's the not 2 new letters, but 2 new letters. And here we are using that A sound and with the A with the yud as the final way to make an A at the end of a word. So let's review this page. Even though I talked about it, you haven't like practiced it. So Janice, look at the
Can I
first
ask a
line.
question
Yes,
first?
of course.
So if you look at like line 6 in the third word, it's leche.
Which page, honey? I skipped.
I'm sorry, like page 7.
Got it.
Page 7?
I'm
Those
not-
are on
I'm just-
five and six.
Yeah. Well, I just looked over. I guess my question is, we did words that have a final cuff with
Chaf.
the 2 dots, which would be A. So what would be the difference between that with the final cuff?
Just do me a
With the
favor.
yud and the final
was
with
on-
the 2 dots.
1 second. I was on the different page because I didn't realize you skipped to the next page. So just give me back to page 7, which word?
Line 6 in the third word in,
Okay,
that would be leche.
Okay.
it wouldn't be. That's the answer. This is just sounding out words and letters. It really wouldn't be a word. It's just having you practice it.
Okay,
It would
so
never-
if you
it
have a
wouldn't be.
final cuff with a
Chaf.
half with 2 dots underneath, you always need the apostrophe?
If it was that shape letter, not the final letter, yeah. That wouldn't
Okay.
be, yeah.
So
that
like
wouldn't
on
be.
line 7, this,
It's like Babel. It's just giving us Babel word, and it shouldn't have done that because that would be confusing. You're right.
Okay,
so read line 7 on page 7.
Oh my goodness, we're up to that. Well, don't,
No,
we didn't
Yeah,
get to that now.
we're doing 5 and 6.
Hold on 1 second. Let's
Okay,
go back.
sorry.
to
I'm
page six.
following the teacher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
page 6. So again, the A sound isn't 2 dots or the 2 dots with the yud. And so the first line is easy. It's hey. And no matter if it has the two dots or the two dots with the yud, it's the A sound. We don't care when we're reading a word and how to spell it. Do you spell it with the yud or you don't? We don't. I just want you to read it.
Right.
And the very advanced or the poetry class probably will teach you how to spell. I don't know. So doesn't matter to us. So let's look at line 2. It's che, right?
Yes.
L'che, 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 che.
Mhm.
And line 3, the same thing. L'che, l'che, okay. Let's look at line 4. Now that's a word you know already.
Uh-huh.
Just
Plural.
shoving it in there. It's our plural of king. What's the word, everybody?
Melech.
Email.
Melech.
Malach, right. It just saying I'm back. Just remember what I look like. That's how you learn sight words. Me Malach. Now let's continue. Elizabeth on line 4.
Email.
Okay. Oh,
I'm sorry. You said Elizabeth, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Mi melech, l'chei, l'chei, melech.
Right. Not hard. And we're okay? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Harriet, line 5.
Meal, G,
Good.
meal, G,
Right.
meal, G, meal, G, meal, G.
Perfect. Oh my goodness. I think the next line is the same thing. Anyone feel like reading it 5 more times? No. Okay.
no, it's not the same.
No, it's
It has an
made.
A instead
No,
of
it's Malche.
It's
Oh, it is.
Hey,
No,
it's
you're right.
Melee.
Melche, you're right, you're right, you're right. Melche, so miche, it's just a dip vowel. And the line 7, let's just skip to 1. Sheila, do line 7.
Okay, Melche, 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 Mazel Tov.
Very good. I should have glasses. Okay, now let's look at line 8. And it's going to mix them up. It's not going to be the same exact word each time. Susan?
Melech,
No. Line 8. I'm so sorry, honey. Line 8, first word.
okay. Melech, no, Melech,
No.
no.
No,
What
you
is-
you started off right. Mel is the first syllable, exactly right. What do you do with the chaf? It has the A vowel underneath it.
Melcha,
It has an A vowel underneath it.
oh, Melche,
Yes, yes, exactly. Melche, very good.
Melche, Melech,
Good.
Melche, okay.
There you go. See now you see? You
Yeah.
got it. Perfect, perfect. All right, Janice, you want to try 9-9?
Melche, mi, melech,
Good.
melche, mi, melech, melche.
Perfect. And the bottom, I don't know why they have the mems there, but what are you supposed to do? L'chei, l'chei. All right, it's a silly word. Okay, it's very silly. And again, at the bottom, it's just reviewing. That combination is an A. Got it? Okay. Now we're gonna and maybe we won't learn anything new after. Oh, no, we get a little time. Okay. Look at the next page. I went to Hebrew school in the 50s. And not that I remembered anything, because I took this course, I told you, tried 3 different times. When we grew up, anybody that's, let's say, in their 60s, maybe 70s, 80s, etc., learned that the little T underneath a letter was an aw sound.
Oh.
We aw, and the little straight dot was an ah, aw. We learned boruch. You hear that? Or we learned boruch, ator. You hear that? I'm really exaggerating it. When an older person goes and makes the, gets an aliyah, you know exactly almost how old they are if you had your eyes closed, because they're going up there and saying boruch ator. I don't know. I'm exaggerating, but you hear it. Anybody that relearned or younger, let's say in their 30s, 40s, a younger. I don't know when it was, at least 20 some odd years ago, maybe a little before that. The teachers of Hebrew realized that we should all teach and learn Hebrew as they do it in Israel, the Sephardic way, where most of us are Ashkenazi. So everybody started teaching it that the little straight line and the little T thing have the
That looks
same
like the
sound.
tonsils. That looks
But they
like the
have the
tonsils.
same sound, even if we, again, we don't care how we spell it in this group, but they're the same sound. So that's why we say, most of us, but, let me get, well, there are two sounds that are totally the same now that weren't when we grew up. This is one of them. The other one is when you, and we didn't get to this yet, I'm just going to give this explanation. There's a letter Tav to the end of the alphabet. And he used to have his cousin with the belly button in, one doesn't, one does. It doesn't matter. I won't teach you the trick. It makes a little difference. Obviously, it doesn't have a belly button because that would be the bet and the bet. And the Tav and the Sav, one had a dot, one didn't. So we all learned Bas Mitzvah,
Mhm.
Sukkos. Nobody says that anymore. They say Sukkot.
Right.
They say Bat Mitzvah, not Bas Mitzvah. So depending on how old the cards are at the Hallmark store, you'll see if they have the Bas Mitzvah. The Orthodox still do it the other way. The Frum still, you'll hear them only use Shabbos and that. But everybody else does it the Sephardic way. So the two big differences for anyone of this group or older that would have to relearn it would be that Tav at the end, which we'll get to, who knows what page, and right now this vowel. So I don't want you to learn them any differently than the same sound. The little straight line or the little T, like in Bali, I don't know, I have to think of an sound. Just a short A. So, okay, so if you want to put a up on top or somewhere on this page, it's a short A like Shabbat.
But it's not really, but it's not wrong if you say, I'm so used to the other way. When my son went to
You'll
Hebrew
only show
school-
your age. It doesn't, no, and it makes a little difference. You can
No,
do
but
it
I'm
the other way.
saying, when my son went to Hebrew school and I only went like second grade with Hebrew, and I was helping him and he kept on fighting with me. And I said, you're wrong, you're wrong. And I had to ask my neighbor. And it was then that I realized it's two different ways.
It is, and at least for 20 some odd years, we've been teaching it this new
Right.
way.
That's what it is.
So,
About 25,
It's at
30
least
years.
20,
Yeah.
25 years that
Mhm.
we've all said, we're doing it the Israeli way. Let's not call it Sephardic versus Ashkenazi. We're just doing it the Israeli way so that
Yeah.
we're all on the same page, literally, figuratively, whatever.
And my sister's name, just for curiosity, was Baruch, Beatrice, and Baruch. You
Yeah.
know.
When you relearn it, it's easy, but when you're it's like you don't know where to go with your mouth because you're
Yeah.
used to that aw sound with no aw anymore. No aw anymore. That I think rhymes. So it's just So now we're not going to do anything more exciting than learning this new vowel. So we're just going to put this short A under everything we learned so far, and we're going to just practice it across the way. The mem and the lamed you should know easily. So now I'm going to go in my box order. Harry, poor girl, gets the first line. First lines are always boring. Sorry, Harry.
First line on that page 7,
Yes.
ma, la, la.
Or you could sing it. La, 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 la,
La,
la.
la, la, la.
Okay, very good. Sheila, next line.
Mala, 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 la la, mama.
Right, mama. Okay, Toby. Line 3.
Ma, mal.
Good. Now you got it. Susan.
Mala.
No. Hold on one second, honey. Do that again, Susan. Line 4.
Ma, la.
No, okay, it's one syllable. You're making it two.
Oh, okay. Mo, okay, yeah.
Right. Just remember, Lamed has no vowel. He goes to the guy ahead of him. Okay, mal, like
Oh.
mal a la tête if you spoke French. Okay,
Okay, so it's mo.
right. Good. And the next line I think is mal again. And then what is it, everybody?
Hey,
Okay,
Hey. Good. Let's do line 6, Janice.
Ma, mal,
Good.
lachei,
Yeah, we just kind of have to do that with that Lamed right now. Right.
malchei,
Good.
malchei,
Good. Oh, you made the goal word. Mazel tov. You got the exclamation point. That was the goal word, malche. Very good. And then the next line, everybody, I think it's the same thing. Malche. Right. Let's go to line 8 and we'll do Elizabeth.
Hey, hey, mal, malche.
Good. And Nancy, line 9.
malche, 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 melech, malche.
Okay, just try a little more in there. A little more of that stuff. All right, now, Harry, you got a normal line. Go ahead. Line 10.
Malche, melech, malche, melech, malche.
Good. And Sheila, line 11.
Me, lech,
Good.
me, melech, and lech.
Good. Excellent. Toby, line 12.
I think she's muted.
She's muted.
No, I am. I'm sorry.
She's thinking. No, she's thinking.
No, I was muted. I
Oh,
was I was done. I'm good. No. Malche,
good.
mi melech,
Good.
malche, mi melech,
Good.
malche.
Good. Very good. Okay. What time is it? Take a breath. We got the chaf, the final chaf. The 2 dots with the yud is the same as the 2 dots. The little line and the little t, ah. Are you good or you want to go one more?
Good.
Okay. When you had the 2 dots with the yud, it was the same as the 2 dots. Go to the next page. Here's another example. 1 dot or 1 dot with the yud, same thing. Okay. I don't know why they need that space holder versus it's a matter of spelling, not a matter of reading it. So I don't know why. Whoever wrote Hebrew, we could ask them, but I don't think they're around. So this is that long E with the 1 dot or the 1 dot with the yud. Same exact thing we did with the A. This is the E. And so this whole page is exactly that. It's just the same thing, 1 dot or the 1 dot with the yud next to it. Okay, let's go to the bottom part and let's do line 7. Susan,
What page are we on?
page 8.
Seven. Hey,
He, there's a 1 dot.
okay. He, I honestly didn't do my homework.
No, it's fine.
Le. Hey,
No, it's not. May hold on. You know what? No, it's a little t. It's not the 3 dots.
okay.
On line 7, 3rd word.
Le,
No,
la,
Yes.
Wow. I'm not gonna get this. This is my 50th time taking Hebrew.
No, then we're gonna slow it down. We'll stop today at this letter. So we're just not gonna, we're not leaving anyone behind in this group. So it's la-chi.
Okay. Lachi. Ma. Lechi.
Yes,
Melechi.
yes.
I'm gonna transliterate. That's what my granddaughter did.
No. Once you learn the letters, you don't need, it's easier to not do that. Mela, yeah, because the mem really should have something hanging around there.
Right.
It doesn't. These are
So
just
that-
syllables. Yeah, go ahead, Nancy.
So that's my question. Because the mem doesn't have anything, it's
Just a m.
mil,
Just a yeah,
just a,
Malachi.
okay.
Malachi, like a, almost if you had like, almost if you had like an apostrophe, like, you know, you hear the M, Malachi.
Malachi.
It's no, yeah, that's the only way to do it. Malachi. And let's all look at line 10. We're not going to go any further than this. Okay. Mi, melech. Mal,
Malche.
he. Me, me, la, chi. Me, la, chi. Me, la, chi. We're not going to learn the last two on this thing. Let's just leave it here for where we are because I think I don't want Nancy to fall behind. I don't want anyone to fall behind. So let's just review.
Yum. Yum.
What letter? How do you say this letter?
Ah,
Chaf. It's a chaf.
half.
Okay. And the final is longer than the box, right?
Right.
Okay. It's a chaf.
Ha.
Chaf. C-H-A-F. All right. And what we are learning, let me just do it this way. Hold on one second. If I had a blackboard or a hoogie, I would be better off. I know there's a way to do that stuff, but I don't know. Okay, I'll just hang them up. So these two are the same. The two dots and the two dots in the yud.
Yeah.
The one dot and the one dot in the yud is an A. And these are
E.
ah. So
The bottom is
we do
ah.
it E, A.
Mhm.
Let me make it darker and let nobody fall behind. Okay, let me just do this. Hold on. There is a way to do a whiteboard, but I don't know how. Okay, so you see it?
Yes.
These are the two that are the same. They're A's.
Mm-hmm.
These two are the same. They're E's. And those two are the same. They're A's.
Oz.
Okay, so the second E has a little yud. I can't see that. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
But now
right.
I see it. There it is. Yeah.
So they're
Okay.
the same.
Got it.
So now you can appreciate why you really, I mean, to teach you two more letters, I don't want to make you nuts. I want to make sure that every day you take these sheets out and every day read them once or twice. Because again, it's not complicated, but you just need to get it under your belt. Nobody here screws up a mem and a lamed anymore. None of you. You got those first three vowels. These are going to come second nature because you knew the A and the E. You knew those already, the single version, the A and the E. You already knew those two vowels. It's just a different way to do it with the yud. And these, so the only new vowels are the A's.
Mhm.
And the only new letters today were the chafs, two shapes. So you really only learned one new letter with two shapes. And you really only learned two new shapes with two vowels you knew and one new vowel today.
Mhm.
So it seemed complicated. It was a lot of stuff, but it really wasn't. So if you put, if you can mark up your books and put these down or use the bottom. And I'm really telling you, if you every day take the sheets out and just do la, 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 li, 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 and just remember where I think Toby and Susan at one time, you take, if there's no vowel in a letter, go before it and make that a syllable. And a final chaf again is always the last letter, always. And the only time the other chaf can be a last letter in these sheets is if it had the yud next to it. Not any of these examples didn't have that little yud to finish up the word. Nobody left, otherwise it would have been a final chaf at the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Susan, Margie, last week when I went to services, I remembered that you said, don't do it by memory, read it. And it really made a difference.
I don't care if you sit there during services and start with Friday night. When anytime they're reading anything and singing anything, you look for each word and see what letter or vowel you know. You're going to be behind them. You don't care. You're going to be behind this. They're 5 verses in, you're still counting your mems, but you're going to see each week that, oh my God, like half the words on that line had a mem in it. I know what a mem is.
Mhm.
You know, you're going to keep seeing this, and then there are going to be words in the prayers. I told you there's so much repetition. You're going to see melech in 1,000 prayers, the same way as you see in every bracha, you know, the baruch. I mean, it's just a common word. And once you learn certain roots of words like kaddish, kiddush, kadosh, all has that root. So you're going to eventually see a kaf, you'll know those letters. And so even though there might be, you're just going to say, oh my God, I know half those letters. They're reading them faster because it's 6 syllables long. But if I took it apart, you can read them once you learn enough of a lot.
And I actually know how to spell my son's name now. His middle name is Melech.
Duh.
I'm doing it in my mind. The mem,
Right.
em, mel, lamed, lech.
That's right.
It's really
right.
something.
So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and especially if your services start with Shalom Aleichem, don't look at the transliteration. I don't care if they're finished with the song and you're still on the first line. I don't care. You're going to see now, wait a minute. Let's go back to the song for a minute. We're not going to do we're not singing. Let's go back to the song, first page, first tune is what? Don't look at the bottom. I don't want transliteration. Once you know the letters, it's harder to read a transliteration. Look at the first word. What letter in there do you know?
Lamed
The
and
mem
Right.
and the
Lamed.
lamed,
Okay. What vowel do you know?
the
The underneath the first letter. Let's be simple.
correct.
Right. What's the second? Now, in the second word, you know 2 vowels and 2 letters. You know the first. Go ahead. Go to the second word. What do you know?
There's an under the first letter.
That's right.
Is the lamed with an A, the 2 dots, A.
That's
like,
right. With the that's
A.
right.
And the half with a F.
That's right. So
And the M at the, well,
we don't go find
Yeah.
it. It would have been in a minute, but we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
today. But look at that second word. You know almost every letter in that word already.
mhm,
Look at the third word.
yeah,
There's your mem. There's your lamed. There's every
Just half.
vowel, almost every vowel you know.
yeah.
Okay, go to the line 2. Don't worry about the 2 little dots in the final chaf. I want you to see a final chaf in print.
me melech.
E melech. Don't worry about the 2 dots in the middle. It's a spelling issue. It's not a pronunciation.
Okay.
Okay, it's a
Melech,
spelling issue.
Malcham.
So look at this. Me melech. You know the second word already. The second
Okay.
word,
Okay.
and you know this. That's right. Okay. Go to the next word. You know the mem. You know the lamed. You know the chaf.
Malachim.
Hamlachim. It's going to be hamlachim when we get to it. Don't worry about it now.
Okay.
Now here, go to the baruch hu at the end. So not Sheila, who refuses to do this, but it's it's baruch. You know the final chaf. Instead of baruch, okay, Sheila, you're going to learn it ba. So that's a B. So it's an but you know the final chaf right there. So here it is in the first 2 lines of a song that we know is repeated. It's only 15 original words in this whole song. that you're, and you already know now, the final chaf, when it's in the middle of the word, like the second word for line 1, there's a regular chaf in the middle, the lamed. And the third word, there's your example of not using a final chaf. They use the regular chaf, but with the A with the yud to finish up the word.
Okay.
It's a spelling issue, not a reading issue. Okay.
Malche.
Right. But except in that,
Malche.
it's actually malache, but the 2 dots under the lamed, we don't know.
Right.
You didn't learn.
Malche.
Yeah. So when you go to shul and you just play that game with yourself, and whatever they're singing, I don't care. You just take a look at that line. Just go Friday nights, an hour. Don't go 3 hours on Saturday. You'll kill yourself. Well, unless you like to go, and that's fine. But I'm just trying to be practical. So when they're on a song, don't look at the transliteration. Don't even sing, don't even bother. Just look at the words and figure out, like, out of that line, I know half the, I know 3 or 4 of those letters already. And Shalom Aleichem is a perfect example. Okay. And does anybody, because I'm not going to teach you the last 2 letters I was going to teach you today. I think you've learned enough new. Does anybody want to go back to any of these pages? Yes, go ahead, Elizabeth. What would you like to go back to?
No, I have a question. So
Yes.
if you have the chaf that's at the end of the sentence, would you ever have a yud after it?
You'd only, you only, every time you need a chaf at the end of a sentence, you use a final chaf. If you don't, which is the example here, in the word malache, Shalom Aleichem, malache, they use a chaf, but they're not using the shape of a final chaf. And I'm saying, why don't they? I don't know why they don't, but they never finish it with just the regular chaf. It'll always have the vowel with the yud. So the yud makes it takes up that space as that final.
Okay.
So why they do it, I don't know.
But they're
But you're
kind
never just going to have it without that yud at the end to make that vowel complete.
okay.
I don't know why. I have to ask the rabbi for that one. It's a matter of spelling. It's like, in English, why do you spell cat with the C versus king with the K? It's like, as long as you know how to read it, you don't really care who decided that cat has the C and king has the K. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right. Are we okay? Is everybody all right with this now?
Yes.
You're all going to read these. So, because I'm just telling you in advance, the next time we're going to finally learn the shape of that final mem, which is easy because it's a letter and then we're going to learn, who was I telling? I think Nancy. We're going to learn the hey, the regular H letter. So
Okay.
that's why I really want to make sure even if you don't pronounce it great, like strongly, that there's a big difference, when you're right. That's why there's a huge difference when people spell Hanukkah. Hanukkah does not begin with the hey letter, the H letter. It begins with the Chaf.
Okay.
But because we all learned it CH, but nowadays you'll see half the cards don't have it. They spell it with they make a marking over the H sound. So you should know it's a Ch. And I keep saying, then why didn't you just leave it as a CH? Because that's how we learned it. But that's why there's,
Even when they, in English, it's the H and then it has
that's what I'm
2 Ks
saying.
and 2
Yeah.
Ks.
Why don't they just leave it with the CH? Because it's not an H letter. Right.
Yeah.
I have to talk to Hallmark. I don't know why they do that. I just think it's confusing. So you have homework tonight and you can see if we're going to, now we're picking up a lot of speed, but we want to make sure that each week you get these under your belt. So really, really, really read these. When you go Friday night, if you go, just sit there and look for the letters I don't care if you spend the whole hour looking in the Siddur, pick any page you want. Doesn't matter. And just say, okay, I'm looking for my lamets. I'm looking for my mems. I'm looking for my chops. I'm looking for my vowels. Okay. We're done enough. We're good.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think the other girls dropped?